Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and I have sex with machinery. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margo D. Hello, friend.
Hi, Gary.
That's a very good impression. But wait, there's more. Also joining us is our podcasting brother from another mother, Adam Riske from F This Movie. Hello, friend.
Oh, shit, I got a block on the quote. Hi, everyone.
That works. We are dorking out about 1989's Parenthood, directed by Ron Howard, and it's got a very long cast. I don't know if I should even list. I'm going to list it all. Steve Martin, Dianne Wiest, Mary Steenburgen, Jason Robards, Rick Moranis, Tom Hulce, Martha Plimpton. I couldn't do it all in one breath. I tried. Keanu Reeves, Harley Jane Kozak, Leaf Phoenix, also known as Joaquin Phoenix. Who else? Helen Shaw as Grandma.
Jason Roberts.
Yeah, I love this movie. Adam, I'm pretty sure you didn't see this in the theater, correct?
No, I did. I saw it maybe twice in the theaters.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, because my family, my parents, really liked it. And they would take my sister and I to movies that were sort of past our understanding at a young age, as long as it was PG-13. So I saw this in theaters in 89, probably twice, and I was 7, and there was so much that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I remember liking the movie still, and this was my first time revisiting it since the early 90s, and it felt like a completely different movie in the way that, you would expect it to as watching as an adult, but it's great. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I imagine that 7-year-old you just walked out singing that diarrhea song. That's probably what you got from it, right?
Well, there was the diarrhea song. I remember being like, why is that kid so upset all the time? I didn't understand that. I didn't understand the gambling stuff that much.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't understand the stuff with Leaf Phoenix's videotapes.
You would get that in a couple more years.
Yeah, I was very confused about a lot of those things.
Margo, did you see it in the theater?
I didn't see it in the theater. This is one of those movies. My dad stole cable, and so we saw this on the cable channel where you would pay for these movies before they went on rental. And I saw it probably 100 times. I mean, people say I just had it on all the time.
Yeah.
I know all the beats. I know all the different parts of this movie, all the jokes and all the stuff. And I haven't seen it in at least 10 years, if not more. And I was really shocked at how fresh it was and how much heart it had and how much I appreciate it from a whole new level than the 19, 20-year-old I was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I first saw it, it definitely... it played at my theater, so I saw it multiple times. I saw the end a million times, and the end always got me to tear up, and everyone at the theater would make fun of me. They're like, here she goes again. I'm like, shut up. Because the end is very sweet. It's very sweet.
It is.
But I think when 18-year-old Sonia watching this, I think what I was relating to was me hoping that my parents were this thoughtful about parenting as the parents in this movie.
No shit.
And then now as an adult with a child watching this movie, it hits me in a totally different spot. And years ago, I watched it a couple years ago when I was still married. And so obviously the Mary Steenburgen, Steve Martin stuff was what I was relating to, but now I'm Dianne Wiest, so it plays in a totally different way.
Well, Dianne Wiest is a lot cooler than Mary Steenburgen, so you're in good company.
Absolutely.
I love that character. I've always loved that character, but this time watching it, I don't know. I think in years past where I felt sorry for that character, and now I'm like, I don't feel so sorry for her. I think she's actually really awesome and smart, and she's trying really hard to do the right things. And actually, I think she does most things right. She's trying.
Although she ends at the end of the movie with that guy who seems very nice, but he looks like, I think, the Lorax a little bit.
He does. He speaks for the trees.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean,
Because isn't the Lorax like that walrus guy with the
yes,
big thick mustache?
yes,
Yeah, sorry.
Absolutely. And you know, the idea that she's hooking up with like the first guy that she decides to date in a long time, whatever. But he seems like a nice guy, and Gary likes him. Gary,
He's so sweet. Yes.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
I don't, for some reason, I remember as a kid it upsetting me when like Joaquin Phoenix is at the track and he's like, it's looking hot. It's looking damn hot. I was just like, kid is wayward.
A cigarette.
Yeah, he's like, I remember being nervous for him.
Yes.
Now I just want, because, a lot of these actors were kind of, in their prime years at the time, or they were in a lot of movies at the time, but like many of them are not as much anymore. They're kind of either retired or just, you see them less. But I do want to see, like, if we're talking like doing, everything is a legacy sequel, I want to see how Todd and Gary are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Also, Martha Plimpton and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Do you think they make it, Margo?
No. No.
I hope they do. But yeah, they are far too young because he's probably like 20 at most, and she's still like 16 or 17, right?
She's like a senior, so
yeah.
I was going to say she's 18.
Okay.
But I knew somebody who had, like, they got married, like the same situation. She became pregnant right out of high school, and they got married. It happened to two of my friends. One, they split up, and the other one, they're still together, and they're very happy. So it's not, but I think Todd is a fuck up. And I think at some point, Martha Plimpton's character, she's so much smarter than him. I think at some point, it's going to drive her nuts. Like, as cute as he is, and he's fucking hot. Those tidy whities.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
He is the type of guy, though, like, if they broke up, you could see, like, how Joaquin Phoenix would be like, yeah, I didn't break up with you, though.
Yeah.
Like, I still
for sure.
Yeah.
They stay friends.
It's Keanu. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Actually, Martha Plimpton probably stays friends with him, too, because he's dumb and harmless.
He's very harmless. I think he's like your first, hot crush, or your first hot love, lust, whatever. But yeah, Julie should be going to school. I mean, but who knows? I could be wrong. I'm more angry than ever at their father, who left Dianne Wiest and is a dentist and doesn't even take care of his kids' teeth because it makes him feel weird. Like, what a fucking asshole.
He's such an asshole.
Yeah.
Hate him.
Yeah, that scene where Gary calls his dad to ask if he could stay with him for a little while it's really, really sad. It's so sad, and it's so well done. Like, Joaquin Phoenix, then at the time he was Lee Phoenix, he's really good in that scene, and Dianne Wiest is so good. It's real sad. It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
It just shows
they're very human.
Yeah. And that's what I love about this. Is an ensemble piece, and like everyone gets their moment. Even
good
Leaf.
About and it's really good about there's so much there, especially as time went on. If you're a comedy, you have to like almost kind of discard reality in a sense, or like sort of heighten everything. So it's like, I got the big account at the ad agency. It's like stuff like that. And I think the thing that's so nice about Parenthood, and I read like, this was based on like a lot of life experiences of the three writers of the movie, that they kind of just incorporated things that had happened.
Babaloo Mandel.
And the thing that I think gives this movie such a solid kind of place to start and like foundation is just that it's all scenarios that are very believable. And then the jokes are kind of punctuated by character observations or like behavior and things like that, or like quips, but it's not like, this is the broad comedic sequence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's just there's all these little nuggets of truth in it that hit you at different times in your life. So you can watch it over and over. And one of the things that was hitting me this time was Steve Martin talking about, because Mary Steenburgen's character, Karen, is, of course, her name is Karen. And she's adorable, by the way. All the moms in here are adorable.
moms.
Or
They're MILFs.
yeah, or as Adam texted, hubba hubba. Like they're all hubba hubba. They're all of them. Is she, her character's pregnant again, and he's like, we already have 3 and now we're gonna have this 4th one, and it's like, well, what if this 4th one is this or that, or and it's the unknown. And it's so scary when you have this like part of you that you're putting out into the world, and you love it, you love your kids so much, and this like walking vulnerability is like, my kid is out in the world, and it's like there's nothing I can do to protect him from everything, and how vulnerable that makes you. I don't know if I'm expressing it very well. It's like this part of my heart is out walking around, and people could hurt him physically or emotionally, and I'm not
just
always
judge you for what you're doing.
Yeah,
it's the most infuriating thing.
And that's still a thing. Like, people are real shitty. They judge each other all the time for their parenting, and you don't know what people are going through. So maybe shut your mouth.
Mind your own fucking business. I have to say this time, and it's happened before, but Jason Robards' wife, he treats her like shit.
It does.
Makes me really angry sometimes. Like, I wish he would punch him in the balls, like, or throw something back at him. I do like.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I did like that his character remained like a consistency. That even though he he's a shitty guy, but like he has the capacity to have moments here and there, but it's not like the defining. Like, you'll get like 5% of that. Like, he's not beyond the pale. But like, because there's one scene that as I gotten older, because like I still have like a really close relationship with my parents, and I remember my dad. There were times when I was in my 20s or so, and I felt like they were kind of hovering too much, where I'm just like, you gotta back off. Like, I don't need advice unless I ask for advice, stuff like that. And the thing that I love that scene where Jason Robards is talking to Steve Martin at the baseball field, and he like, just because like you're a grown up, it's not like I'm gonna ever stop worrying about you and stuff like that. It's like it's the rest of your life. Like, I'm still gonna be your dad, and even if you don't need me to be your dad, like that's what I, conditioned to do, to worry and to care about you. And I think like little observances like that are what makes this movie special.
Yeah. That scene is so great at conveying that there's also a point in all of our lives where we start seeing our parents not just as our parents, but as people. Right. So he's seeing his dad as a man but also as a father himself. Like, he's able to like kind of take a step back and see that his dad he even says something at the beginning about like his dad saw parenting as a job, as a chore, as a burden. And that scene, he's able to just take that step back and realize that his dad is doing the best he can with what he's got, or what he's capable of.
Yeah, and he explains to him like how horrible it felt like when he thought that Steve Martin as a kid had polio, and like how ill prepared he was to like handle those emotions, and like his whole life basically is like trying to avoid ever feeling that way again.
Yeah.
And it's really like brave stuff too, because it's like these dark little kind of like secrets that you would only usually say in like, in therapy or something like that. Like, it's moving when you're sharing them with people. One other scene that I just loved was when Steve Martin was at the movie theater with his son, and he's explaining to him, about there being no shame and like going to see a therapist and everything like that. But the way he explains it is so like gentle and so accepting and everything like that. I think it's just, it's so beautiful. And then like when the kid says later, like, can we work at the same office so I can see stuff like that? I mean, I'm just a wreck. It's like their relationship is so sweet.
Is Kevin okay? That's what I want to know.
I say yes.
Yeah. Or do you mean like, I don't think he's shooting out of a bell tower. So.
Yeah. That kind of a scene that plays differently to me now.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
A little rough. Yeah, I remember '89, it's like, ha ha. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Especially when he sings the diarrhea song into the microphone, the megaphone. I thought that was funny. I like, I love Dianne Wiest. I think she's
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
funny and real, and her reactions are real, and
Yeah.
she's trying to keep everything together because her ex-husband isn't helping with anything,
Yes,
and she's doing it all on her own, and she's funny as shit.
I agree.
yeah. Yeah, that's one thing as I've gotten older. It's just like because when I was a kid, I would see Dianne Wiest in like The Lost Boys,
Yeah.
and it's not on my 10 list of things that are impressing me about The Lost Boys. But then like when you get older and you see her in like Parenthood or Hannah and Her Sisters or like The Lost Boys, it's just like, man, she's just invaluable. Like I get why she's Oscar winner and things like that. So good.
She's even good in Footloose, which we brought up before we started recording. She's good in a small part like that. She's always great.
Yeah.
Her and Martha Plimpton are really good together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love here we go. I love when she's like, Julie, if you step out of this house, don't you come back. And like the second Julie leaves, she's like, I'm always here if you need me.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
She just can't help herself.
What is the point where she hits her daughter over the head? Like she's mad at Keanu Reeves, and then it turns out she's pregnant. And she's like, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when
front lawn.
She finds, oh, you're my wife. You can't leave me. You're my wife. Yeah, switches to hitting her with the newspaper.
Yeah. I think if there's anything in the movie that I think is a weaker subplot is I don't love the Rick Moranis, Harley Jane Kozak stuff because I think it's sort of they kind of repeat the same thing over and over, and maybe obviously that's the point. That's like why she's so frustrated and wants to leave him. But I so side with her at the end of the movie when he's singing the Carpenters to her in her classroom, where she's just like, I could lose my job, and I'm like, yeah, he's still a dick who doesn't think about her.
Yeah,
right.
So
I try to keep these kids off of drugs.
We're trying to keep these kids off of drugs. Such a funny line.
Yeah.
No, he's selfish, and yeah. That's a little one note, but I do think the little kids are adorable and funny.
Cute.
Yeah, they're good. The Steve Martin's daughter is the girl who played Curly Sue.
That's right.
Like that, yeah. And then at the play at the end, there's like this overeager like redhead girl in the audience, and that was Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh,
cute.
Yeah. And then the one just like, he's ruining the play. He's ruining the play.
Lady, settle down. The play was already ruined. It's fine.
Yeah, she's like, I love how that woman's just like, I got 2 lines in this movie, and I'm going to make it count like it's 8 lines.
Yes.
Yes.
She's going big.
Yeah.
She's going big. But there are those types of parents, for sure, that take those kinds of things so seriously and have very high expectations. And when your kid doesn't fall in line, absolutely, that's a thing. I love Justin, the youngest, who's just
hitting his head on the wall.
he likes to hit
the bucket on his head.
He likes to hit his head on things, or he's eating the stickers and he's like, wait, I'll get you some dip. Like, that's totally youngest kid energy. Like, where she says, like, we'll let the youngest juggle knives. It's 100% a thing. That first one you do stress and I only have one, so I can only speak from what I've witnessed, but that first one, you're so precious about everything. And by the second or third, you're like, that's fine. It's fine. Like, you can eat dirt. I don't care. It's fine. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Like,
yeah. Just take a nap. Go to bed.
Go to bed. But he's a little cutie. And
he's adorable.
Yeah.
Everybody drinks.
He's
really, really cute. So we have to talk about Larry and the whole Tom Hulce of it all.
Yes.
Larry's an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, it's very well done. And Tom Hulce, like, as the kids would say, he understood the assignment, but he's just excellent at being the worst.
Yeah, I love he shows up and like instantly Steve Martin and Dianne Wiest are like, oh shit. Like, because they know, like, some families have this. I definitely have uncles like this, by the way. I basically have the equivalent of an Uncle Larry. And that's the one who shows up and he just never has his shit together, always makes shitty choices. And that's what Larry is.
I like it when Steve Martin says, "That's your Uncle Larry. Don't give him any money."
Yeah.
He'll suck the intelligence right out of Patty.
Right out of Patty. Yeah, he's sleazy, and I said pictures of like some of the shirts he was wearing, and the jelly curl hair.
Yeah,
but it's perfect 89 sleazeball, and he has a son, and just treats him like he's just an accessory.
Yes.
That's one thing I liked about Robards' character, because it's almost like if he can turn a leaf at a late age, although we need to talk about the ages in this movie because it's a little, but he's like Jason Robards with Tom Hulce's son is like being much a better parental figure than he was. And it's nice that he's like not falling back into line of like how he was before. And he's giving this kid like, you know, who's had a tough childhood up to this point, like his loving attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. The son, cool. The Jason Robards character reminds me a lot of my own father. And I think there's a lot of things when I watch that character that I connect with, because I'm like, this reminds me of my dad. And my dad also like kind of didn't click for him how awesome parenting was until he had grandkids. And now he's like the world's best grandpa. And you're like, where have you been? This dude's rad. Like he, you know, and I think that's what Jason Robards is like. Like he gets kind of another shot at parenting. And the scene where he says like, do you want to stay here with us? And Cool says, yeah. It's so like,
very sweet.
It's so sweet. And I love when they're together because the whole thing, like at the end, they're all in the like hospital room, and we'll talk about Jason Robards lighting up a cigar where all these newborn babies are, but whatever. And just Jason Robards and his wife and Cool all being together is so cute. It's so sweet. It just hit me right in the heart.
Yeah.
I still say justice for Jason Robards' wife. I think she should have. There's a couple times she could have gotten back at him, because there's sometimes he says things. He's so you have, I don't know. It just hit me like he's like mean to her. He's just completely like not appreciative of her. And I guess like he is like 90% asshole. We have to accept that. But I would have, because everybody else gets a point.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good call. She needed her moment. Even great grandma gets a moment.
Yeah, she gets a great speech. Like everybody gets a moment where they get to kind of defend themselves or speak about what they're going through. And she seems like very put upon. Like everybody just expects her. I do love the way they take grandma from home to home, and grandma's just shrugging her shoulders like, okay. But she looks at the porno and then just, that one man in there reminded me of your, cracks me up every single time. She delivers her lines beautifully.
And I love her. I like the roller coaster story. I think... I know it's like a joke. It's like, I was really confused until Grandma came in with her roller coaster story. But I really do like the roller coaster story. I think it's very sweet. It's sure, it's like really on the nose, but you know,
I think it works in like two ways too, because like as a movie, like, you know, this analogy, it's very movie-like, and it works because it's, you know, it's heartfelt and it makes sense and everything. But I do like that Steve Martin sort of deflates it a little bit, because in real life, if somebody said that to you, you'd be like, oh, they're teaching me a lesson, this special person.
Yes. She's so brilliant.
Why is she in the wrong car?
I'm glad that they deflated a little bit.
Yeah,
that's realistic. Yeah.
Yes.
Because if somebody like gave me that story and they just expected me to like sit there while they're talking and then just be like rocked to my core afterwards, I'd be like, go to hell. Like, don't treat me like I'm a simp or something. So, yeah.
I'd say I got an inner ear condition, so like roller coasters, no for me. But I get your metaphor.
Yeah.
I would tell her I didn't get it and make her explain it again. I don't get it.
Okay, so it's like the tilt-a-whirl. It tilts and then it whirls. Tilt, whirl, tilt, whirl.
I got two minor nitpicks. One is I almost spit out my water when they say Steve Martin's 35.
Right? I wrote that too. I was like,
Robards is 62.
35 exclamation point. I'm like,
Yeah. And then also, because I think Steve Martin was in his 40s at the time, but like he just looks like he was born 45
Yes.
years old. Like it's hard to.
He went prematurely gray. He
Yeah.
was like in his 30s. So yeah.
Yeah, and then the opening scene is a little hard for me because it's like not the stuff at the game with the amalgam of ushers. I think that's funny.
yeah.
But it's too much when I see all the merchandise that they buy, like they've never been to a baseball game before and they have to buy the entire gift shop. That's like, as a baseball fan, I don't know, it was bothering me. And then also like it doubled with that goddamn Randy Newman song.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what is your problem with this song? Is it Randy Newman in general or just the song?
I don't like Randy Newman's voice, so he could sing anything and I wouldn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And then also that song became
Yeah.
synonymous with toothpaste commercials
Yes.
for like a decade, dentist office waiting rooms.
Mhm.
I feel like it was just like enough already with the goddamn syrupy Randy Newmans. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that's
I love LA.
yeah. I'll take that over. I love to see you smile.
I do like short people. I think that's a funny song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. You Got a Friend in Me. It's the same beat. It's
Oh my God,
all
it's
the same.
exactly
Yeah.
the same song. It's
Yeah.
It's all of them are the same song. Yeah.
It doesn't help that like I've discovered at a young age that I can do a really good Randy Newman impression, and like me mocking him through his impression is like only made it worse.
Well, you have to do it now.
yeah.
Okay. So I would always do like You Got a Friend in Me, and I'm just like, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. My music. When the
Oh my
road
God, it's so good.
and your miles and miles from your nice warm bed. Remember, oh well then. You got a friend in me.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, that's like 10 minutes.
Oh, it's so good. It's
Oh
so
my
good.
God.
I'm crying. It's so good.
You're
It's
welcome.
like everyone, Randy Newman's here. Welcome to the show, Randy Newman.
Thank you for having me. I'm 35 years old.
Now do the diarrhea song.
Two.
When you're sliding into birth and you feel the birth, diarrhea. When you're
Oh
sliding,
my God. That's so good. That's an amazing impression.
thank you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta wipe my eyes. That's so funny. Oh, I don't even know what I was gonna say after that.
Hi.
We're gonna do a whole episode about Randy Newman songs.
Don't want no show people. Little heads, tiny little toes.
I wish I could do an impression. We could just sit here and do the rest of the show in different impressions.
I was born to make you happy. Yeah, it all sounds the same. They're an amalgam of the same song. And he just chunks them out to different films. And then You Have a Friend in Me and There and I Love LA. And it just goes on and on and on. And he's, as a performer, he's one of those red flag performers for me when guys are into Randy Newman.
Red
I'm
flag
like, ay,
performers.
ay, ay.
Who are some of the other red flag performers, out of curiosity?
Belle and Sebastian.
Mm.
There's
Top two.
there's some like the mopey rock ones.
Yeah.
like blood
the ones
king.
I'm more turned off by people who tell you how much they hate a thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that gives you a personality. But like somebody who's like, you say like, you know, Pink Floyd or the Grateful Dead or something like that, or disco, and they're like, bleh, you know, they just completely convulse themselves. Like, you don't have to fucking listen to anything you don't want to in your life. It doesn't make you interesting, you know, to hate something. And it certainly doesn't make you interesting to love Randy Newman. Or Belle and Sebastian, or any of that mopey 90s shit that I was like, ugh. That is like I know there's more, but anyway, yeah.
I met a lot of dudes who are like really, really, really into Radiohead, and it's like I don't even hate Radiohead, but like dudes who like super love Radiohead, give me.
I love Radiohead.
Give me pause.
That phase.
I got you.
It was more like around OK Computer and the Bends, and then I think I kind of tapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah.
They're better.
No, they're good.
Yeah,
they're
no,
good.
it's not that I don't like Radiohead, but there's like a certain person who's like, no, I'm like really into Radiohead, and I'm like, oh, okay, well.
No, Sonia, you don't understand. I'm speaking for all men out there on behalf.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. How dare you?
I am out of control. This is why I'm Dianne Wiest. This is why I have sex with machinery.
That is, I love it when she's on the date and she comes home, nice drop kick, honey. And then, and then she's talking about Julie drops the bomb that she's pregnant.
Yes.
She's I was at Woodstock for Christ's sakes. I hung on to the whose helicopter and flew away. And then he says, I went to Woodstock too, like very innocently. And she's like, yeah, I thought you looked familiar.
The delivery is so good.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I mean, she was nominated for an Academy Award, and she deserves it because she is the heart of this movie.
She is the MVP. Like,
you root for her.
What?
Do you remember who won that year?
Oh, I can look this up.
Look it up.
It was actually, I know right off the top of my head, it was Brenda Fricker for My Left Foot.
That's right. I remember it was Denzel Washington for Glory.
Yeah.
For thing. And then, that must have been Daniel Day-Lewis for My Left Foot.
Yeah.
Actor.
Yeah.
And then actress, I don't remember.
I'm going to say it might have been, was it maybe Jodie Foster?
No, that was
The Accused, 88.
I think.
I'm
The
going to
Accused
go.
came out in 88, so it could be. It would be March of 89.
Tom Cruise got robbed in 89. He should have won for Born on the 4th of July.
I'm looking it up.
I thought he was great in that movie.
He's so good in that movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Actor leading role was Daniel Day-Lewis, Kenneth Branagh, Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman, and Robin Williams.
That's a good crew.
Actress in a leading role. Oh, Jessica Tandy for Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, shit. That movie.
Was that her first Oscar? Like, was that like a lifetime?
I think so. Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah.
But then you look at the other people and it's like Michelle Pfeiffer for the Fabulous Baker Boys. I'm like, she's really good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
That's a good one. Other actresses for supporting was Brenda Fricker, Angelica Houston for Enemies, A Love Story, Lena Olin for Enemies, A Love Story, and Julia Roberts
Filmed in Brooklyn.
Julia Roberts for Steel Magnolia.
Oh, of course. She's good in that too.
She was supporting or lead actress for Steel Magnolias?
Supporting.
Supporting.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a lead in that movie. I feel like everyone's supporting.
That was another movie where I would see it because my parents would watch it like on cable. And then it was like a Beaches thing where I didn't understand. I'm like, why did the young lady die? Like,
Yeah.
And then I remember like, wasn't there something in Steel Magnolias where it was diabetes, right?
Yeah, she has type
Yeah, we
1.
talked about it a few weeks ago. Yeah, she had diabetes.
Did she have something like going on with her fingers or something in that movie? Because for some reason I have a memory that
No,
like,
it's her veins in her arm. They're like doing a whole thing with her veins. Like,
yeah, I was just like, I think she died because like her fingers were weird.
You were young.
Yeah, I was young. I didn't know what was going on.
You didn't. Yeah, there was a lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Beaches. Beaches.
Beaches is great. I love
I'm
Beaches.
just like, I'm like, so it could just stop at any time. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
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 Barbara Hershey. Yeah.
We could do Beaches sometimes. We could talk about it on the show.
Oh, that's another one. The Wind Beneath My Wings. That song wouldn't go away.
No, that
No.
song. No, that one played at my theater too, so I had to listen to the song more than I would like.
Yeah.
Which is one time.
Yeah.
The late 80s were good for those, like, you will fucking cry movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chick flicks, they were calling them. And they made money. And
Yeah.
they stopped doing them.
Yeah.
Because that always happens.
That's because we have two genres now, Marvel or other.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I think about that, where it's just like, if I worked at a Blockbuster Video still, it's just like, where would I categorize half of these movies? Because it's like, this isn't a comedy, this isn't a drama, this isn't action, this is just Marvel or other.
Well, and look at this movie. Like, this movie wouldn't come out now. This would be straight to Netflix. This would be a Hulu movie.
Yeah, it's interesting. Or it might get like a fall release from like someone, but it wouldn't make the same impression that it did, because this was like a movie everybody saw from what I remember. Yeah,
it's one of those that it appeals to everybody because it has all these different age groups. I mean, it's very white. Let's keep it there. I mean, but it's a very broad audience that you're reaching for, because there's some for the teenagers, there's some for the middle-aged people. We have old people sucking on balloons and making funny voices. When I was a baby, Perfect Cleveland was president. There's something a little bit for everybody. And also they had the budget for Randy Newman. So if it were Hulu, they wouldn't have Randy Newman. So who's lesser than?
Sure.
Who's annoying but lesser?
Who's annoying but lesser than Randy Newman?
Yeah.
Well, I think Randy Newman's the lesser, so I gotta I'll to you on that one. I don't know. Like, I think a Michael McDonald is a better Randy Newman.
True.
I think Michael McDonald should sing all the theme songs for everything.
I'd be fine with that.
I totally am okay with that.
They could just use Sweet Freedom over and over, and I would be fine with that.
It works for every movie.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any montage, Sweet Freedom, drop it in, makes it better.
Yeah.
We should say, like, Patrick from F This Movie, he just hosted a screening of Apollo 13 like a month ago.
Oh my gosh, so good.
I love that movie.
In the theater, and it's like, it was great back then, but it's like even better now. It's wonderful. Ron Howard, like, he's a guy just over time that, like, he's made so many kind of cruddy movies over the past like 15 years or so, that you forget how awesome he was, like, for a period of time. He had like that Rob Reiner thing where it was like,
exactly,
it's like Splash, and then like, Willow and Parenthood and Backdraft and Apollo 13. It's like, these are some like all-timers.
Yeah, instead of doing movies of 89, I have a list here of Ron Howard movies from the 80s and 90s. And I mean, Night Shift, Splash, Cocoon, Gung Ho, Willow. I mean, these are really good movies. The Paper, which is on our list.
It's on the list.
Paper. Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I think you would like The Paper very much.
Okay.
I mean, he's a good director, but he's made a lot of things lately where I'm like, hard pass.
He does a lot of producing too. So it's like, how much can he focus on a thing when you have so many shows in production?
But he, in a while too, like, I'll write him off, but then he'll do Frost Nixon, or then he'll do like Rush, and it's just like, no, he's really good still sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. I didn't like the Allergy for the Hillbillies, whatever that was.
I didn't see
that one.
A Hillbilly Allergy.
I didn't watch that one.
I didn't like any of his Da Vinci Code trilogy. I thought those were all bad.
Those were terrible.
The Missing, I don't remember being good. A Beautiful Mind I rewatched, and that's not very good.
I was
Frantic, is that him? No.
Ransom.
That's from Polanski. Ransom. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of the one.
Ransom's a guilty pleasure of mine.
Give me back my son!
Yeah. I just like that Gary Sinise in that movie's name is Jimmy Shaker, and they're just like, put it down, Shaker. And then when Mel Gibson's asking Gary Sinise why he's doing it, he gives his motive is that he uses the story of the time machine, that he's like, sometimes the Morlocks have to drag down the Eloys below ground. And I'm just like, man, you took the time machine way too much far. But yeah, Ransom is like one of those Mel Gibson movies where I'm just like, I can't watch any of his new stuff, but I do feel like watching Ransom.
Do you want to hear about the top songs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me bring it up on my phone. I'm doing a new thing where I'm not actually writing them down. I'm just doing a screenshot.
Ooh.
And then I realized I post a lot of stupid shit on Instagram. Okay, here it goes. All right, so number 10. So this is from the week August 5th, 1989. So almost 32 years ago. Yeah.
I like how specific this
Number
is
10.
great.
Number 10. If You Don't Know Me By Now, Simply Red. That's another song. Fuck off. You like it?
Yeah. All right. For two reasons. One is because they do a parody version of it on the British Office. That's really funny. And then two is when I was a kid, for some reason, I used to have this thing because I saw a lot of movies and I was always in the car with my parents, and like they would play like, you know, the hit station and stuff like that. So Simply Red would be on. And for some reason, because I was thinking about movies while they were driving and stuff, I always conflated If You Don't Know Me By Now with Vicky Vale and Bruce Wayne's relationship. So like, so in my head,
Are you fucking kidding me?
This is very specific and I like it.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's
in
a
my
weird
head, when I'm watching like Batman 89 and like she discovers the Batcave, I don't hear any words they're saying. All I hear is just like, if you don't know, if you don't know me.
It's a remake, so I don't know if you ever heard the original.
Who's the original by?
Howard and the Blue Notes. What's it called? What are they called? It's a
Motown type song.
It's a 70s soul, silly soul.
Okay.
So
I need to go.
Somebody in the Blue Notes. I like it better, but that's neither here nor there.
It's from Batman.
It's
Exactly.
from Batman.
It's from the Batman. Yeah.
9. I love this song, "Cold Hearted" by Paula Abdul.
The song's rad.
Cold-hearted snake.
I'm gonna watch the video
Don't play
after
by
this.
rules.
I found
I
out
don't know.
it's about John Stamos.
It is?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
We're dating and then he dumped her.
He dumped her. Oh wow. Do you know this song? I don't know it. "I Like It" by Dino.
Mm,
Is
No?
it I Like It. I really, really like it. Is it that one?
I don't know.
I don't remember specifically what that one was.
Okay, so number 7, "Lay Your Hands on Me," Bon Jovi.
Ugh, no.
Whatever. I know. Oh, here's one. This will separate us. "A Great White," Once Bitten, Twice Shy.
I like that one.
I do too.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Margo, this is totally Margo's jam. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
hair metal is fond. Like it has a fond place in my heart. So
Same. I love this song, "Martika," Toy Soldiers. That's
Oh
a
my
great song. Step
No,
by step.
that's your Simply Red.
that's your Simply Red.
That's my Simply Red. Okay. "Right Here Waiting," Richard Marx.
I love me some Richard Marx.
She loves Richard Marx.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
This song, "Love and Rockets," "So Alive," that is still played all the time.
It's a good
It's
song
good.
though.
It is. I love this song. So Bobby Brown, "On Our Own."
That's great. That's the best thing out of
Great song.
That's definitely the best thing about Ghostbusters too.
And
Yeah.
the number 1 song, y'all, Prince, "Bat Dance."
Shut up. You're making that up.
I'm not making that up. You can look it up yourselves.
That song made number 1 just by like sheer will. Like I don't know anybody who
Yeah.
like loves that song, but like it was weirdly popular. I think it was just because everybody loved Batman. But
Yeah.
They loved Batman, but they would also, that's when they used to take clips from movies and then interject them in songs.
Yeah.
And then that helped, I think, their popularity. Because they had that Bruce Springsteen terrible song, Secret Garden. And they did the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
You had me at hello.
Yes. They did that with Titanic, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we do a sidebar and look at the Batman soundtrack? Because I want to figure out which songs are better than Bat Dance on that one.
I like Scandalous.
Vicky Waiting is a banger. Scandalous is good. Electric Chair I don't think is that great. The Future's okay. I'm trying to think of what else is on
What's
there.
the party one? Like,
Party Man?
Yeah.
Eyes of Orion. Like, it's weird because that album has some like deeper cuts.
Yeah.
And those are, for me, my favorite ones on there.
I liked his stuff before and after that. To me, Bat Dance and all of it was sort of a throwaway. I think he just wanted to bang Kim Basinger and be a part of the culture, which I would do if I were him. I mean, sure. I just don't think it's great Prince. I think Prince sometimes was like he threw the spaghetti at the wall and saw what stuck.
Yeah.
I think he had a mind that was he was just constantly creating. It's not something I go back to. Where I go back to his other Sign of the Times or something like that is what I go back to.
I agree with you. Like that stuff, like Sign of the Times was like right before Bat Dance, and then like right after that was like Get Off and like
the one with Sheena Easton,
Temple and stuff like that.
Got the look.
That's a good
one.
He's got a song in Sign of the Times called Slow Love that's like so good. It's really, really good. Yeah,
I love it.
They just opened a Prince exhibit in Chicago. I need to go to that.
Wait, we got to go back to Chicago.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, it's the Prince Experience or something like that. It's like, and then I know
Does everybody
Erica
get pregnant?
I know Erica and Patrick have been to Paisley Park, and they said it's really good too. So I always wanted to go there.
Yeah, I would love to do that too. Yeah. I saw Prince in concert, and before the show started, this random guy next to me was like, "What song are you hoping he sings? Because I hope he sings." And I don't remember what his song was. It was like, something obvious. It's like Little Red Corvette. And I was like, he's going to sing it. It's going to be fine. Yeah. But I jokingly said Bat Dance, and the guy did a spit take, and I was all, yes.
I saw him in concert, but it was like a charity of concert at United Center, and for some reason he was like openly contentious.
You got angry Prince.
Got angry Prince, and it was like he was like taking it out on the audience. Where like he played like a medley of his hits that lasted like 30 seconds, and then the rest of the time was all of his like Target Jesus music, and then like he had like the singers playing like or singing most of the time. It was like really, and then like when he left, he didn't come back for an encore, I heard, for like 45 minutes. So we ended up leaving after like 10 minutes where we're like, I guess he's not coming back. But then he like came back 45 minutes later.
When they have no respect for the audience, it infuriates me.
Yeah.
That's why, like, Madonna used to be, she never liked air conditioning. So if you go to one of her shows, just FYI, she doesn't sing with air conditioning. So if it's hot, she doesn't give a shit. But also, last time she was on tour, she'd be 2, 3, 4 hours late.
I heard that too. A friend of mine had tickets for the show, and it was like 2 hours late. And I was like, that is fucked up.
It's fucked up because, people expect, they have babysitters and
exactly
they have to take, the train home. Some places the train stops at midnight. So the only way I can relate is my dad he didn't like singers very much, but he did like Sinatra. And he treated my mom to see Sinatra sometime in the 80s when he was starting to go. And my dad said it was almost kind of funny, the amount of contempt he seemed to have for the audience.
Oh, my gosh.
With the with the wig and all that stuff. But he said there were moments where he would kind of shine and you could see it, the old stuff. But when they get to that point, it's like, what are you even doing?
Yeah. Have you ever had the flip side of that, though, where like you hear somebody's not good anymore and then you go see them and they're amazing? Because I have one of those.
I had Hall & Oates.
Okay.
We were all snowbound in Wall, New Jersey, and we were staying for Christmas, and we were all just going cuckoo. We couldn't get on the trains or anything. And Hall & Oates just happened to be in town in Red Bank to put on a show. And they were like, there's all these extra tickets because people can't make it to the theater. And there's all these people from southern New Jersey, the Jersey Shore, that were housebound for like 4 or 5 days. And they went to see a show. And you go to a show where you know every freaking song. And the band was totally into it. And they were it was really like electric. It was, and ever since then, and I always liked Hall & Oates, but I super love Hall & Oates now. Like they can do no wrong.
I saw Billy Idol. I was Neil Young used to do something here called the Bridge School Benefit, and it's supposed to be, it's acoustic, and Billy Idol was on the lineup, and I was like, Billy Idol, what? This is like well past like his prime. And I was like, whatever. And then he came out and he just killed it. And I was like, this is the best. He was the best one that day. And there were a lot of really great people on that lineup. And I was just blown away. And he had so much fun. And they have like the kids that benefit from it, like around, and they were so into it. And he was so cool to them. I was so impressed.
That's great. Yeah, I would love to see Billy Idol. I've never saw him in concert. For me, I was on like a business trip, and like one of the partners had extra, like a sheet of tickets that nobody wanted to see Axl Rose at the Hard Rock. And I had heard from people, they're just like, Axl Rose's voice is shot. Like he's, it wasn't with Guns N' Roses. It was just him solo. But he was singing, obviously, the music from Guns N' Roses. We went, and it was a smaller venue. It was probably for like 1,000, 2,000 people. And it was like one of the best concerts I've ever seen. And he's like playing November Rain on this beautiful, like big white piano. And he's on a platform. And then all of a sudden the platform goes into it like up in the air.
Oh my gosh.
And then he's playing November Rain on the piano floating above you. And you're just like,
this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is magic. And he just like crushed the entire show. His voice was great, and like he played like everything that you would want to hear from him. And ever since then, and then just seeing like him on Twitter and like him being kind of on the right side of like a lot of social issues, I'm just like, go Axl Rose.
Yeah, good.
Maybe he's getting it together.
Yeah. And he played You Could Be Mine from T2. So what else could you want?
Like, seriously, that's all you need.
We need T2 on the list. I really love that movie.
Yeah. I'll write it down right now.
Do you remember the T2 arcade game that they had back in the 90s?
No, I was not in the arcade.
I remember a pinball, Terminator pinball.
But yeah, they had like a T2, the arcade game, and they ended up like putting that on Sega later. But you can buy like basically like a half-sized arcade game for T2 for like $350 off of like Amazon now, and I'm so tempted to buy it.
I would be tempted.
Yeah. So
I never played video games. It was never my thing.
I want my house to look like Joe Pesci's in the photo that I saw, where he had a Lethal Weapon 3 pinball machine in his living room.
I would love to have a pinball. I used to love the 1989 Batman pinball was my favorite.
I don't think I've ever played that one.
It was at one of the movie theaters I worked at had an arcade room, and it was in there, and I would play it sometimes on my break, and I became very obsessed with that game.
I liked it when we were all at JD's house, and he had a couple of cool pinballs.
Yeah. I on that, not on that specific Vegas trip, but on another one, they have this place called like the Pinball Hall of Fame. And it's off the strip, but like if you go there, it's just like all of the pinball games you could ever think of, and so many of them are like licensed to movies and bands.
Oh, that sounds
awesome. So I
like
remember
pinball machines.
Yeah.
I remember being hooked on the Johnny Mnemonic pinball game, the Waterworld pinball game.
Nice.
And then especially the Apollo 13 pinball game, because they had sound effects on the Apollo 13 one where they're just like, we're never getting home. It's like,
do they play Spirit in the Sky all the time?
It's like you hit the ball with the flipper, and it's like, we got a wicked shimmy up here. and then like you won what, like the ball would go down into the hole and you'd lose. You'd have to go play the next game, and then it's like I stirred the tanks. I stirred them. I do what I was supposed to do.
What a weird.
No,
what
I
a
don't
weird.
have measles.
What a weird
just-
pinball game, because it's like based on a real thing.
That's why I think it's so funny. Like when, like Titanic. A lot
Yeah,
of people
I was
kind
like, there has to be a Titanic one.
yeah, a lot of people kind of lost it. Where it's just like, wow, so and so movie hit an iceberg at the box office. I'm just like, Jesus, guys, this still really happened.
So fucked up.
Yeah.
They have a whole pinball expo here, or at least they used to, and you pay, $20, $25, and you could play all the games. And
Mhm.
I used to do that sometimes before pre-COVID days, when I wouldn't mind touching games that other people had touched.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really fun.
There was a burger place near me when I was growing up, and it was really bad, but I always wanted to go there, and it was because they had an Elvira Mistress of the Dark pinball game.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Mhm.
And eventually my parents got hip to the fact that I just wanted to play the pinball game. They're like, so we don't have to eat these burnt cheeseburgers anymore? I'm like, they don't taste good to me. Mm-hmm.
Did we have anything else we wanted to say about Parenthood, by the way?
It was a TV series I never saw.
I never
Yeah.
saw it either.
I never saw it. Yeah, wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio on it for a
He was on,
period of time?
yeah, so there was the first one in 1990.
That was Ed Begley Jr. also,
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second one was in 2010, and that was like 6 seasons, and people loved it.
Loved
Yeah.
it.
It's just, I just, for whatever reason, I missed it.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Same.
I think it was just there was nobody in the cast that I really cared about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was just obviously distracted by something else at the time. I think.
I think I was mad at Lauren Graham for how Gilmore Girls ended, so I was taking it out on her. Because I've never seen a show I loved shit the bed as much as Gilmore Girls did.
Valid.
Yeah.
I have thoughts and feelings about those new episodes they put out a couple of years
Those
ago.
I
are
was-
terrible.
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 That's Netflix for you. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember like the 7th season or whatever, the one that was on the WB, like not being good either. Once Rory started like with Logan and stuff at Yale, I was just like, this isn't going anywhere good.
Mm-mm.
You know,
Disappointing.
she should have stuck with Milo Ventimiglia. That kid had soul, and I met him at a convention, and he was really nice.
Oh, good.
That's good.
He was very bro-y. He's just like, I remember talking to him about Rocky Balboa, and this was before Creed came out, and I'm like, I heard there's a new Rocky movie. Are you going to be in it? He's like, yeah, bro, I hope so, if Sly will have me. And I'm just like, all right, cool, bro. I'll see you later.
Isn't he mad? Isn't Sylvester Stallone mad at Erwin Winkler because he wants the rights back to Rocky or something? I thought I read something about that this week.
Yeah, it was something like that he didn't have.
Kerfuffle.
Yeah, he basically like didn't have rights to the character at the time, but then he now kind of wants something like in arrears because of how vastly successful it's been, and he just feels like he doesn't get the respect that he money.
I get the
Mm.
respect I deserve for making
Yeah,
Rocky
I don't know.
character.
I like that. I like his friendship with Al Pacino. I like how they get together and watch boxing together and stuff like that. I want to hang out with Al Pacino.
We all do. I hear he's really nice.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really sweet.
You should ask him to hang out. Maybe he'll say yes.
If I ever bump into him, I will.
Okay, good.
Be like, I'll do my Randy Newman impression.
Yes, that'll win him over.
Oh, speaking of Al Pacino, did either of you watch The Offer on Paramount Plus about the guy?
I
the making?
did. I did. I saw the whole thing.
I don't know why I love that show. It's such garbage, but I loved everything.
I did too. I had the same reaction. I liked Miles Teller and Gino Temple. I mean, I think the guy that played Coppola was great. I think it was
I like
great
Coppola.
Coppola cosplay. I think
playing
the guy
Rob
that
Evans was amazing. Yeah.
Who? Sorry?
Matthew Good, who played Robert Evans, was amazing.
Amazing. Where are you right now? I don't know. One of those square states. Anyway, he was so good. And the Ali, what's her face? Ali McGraw that they had. I got into it too because I love The Godfather.
Yeah.
Which is I thought it was great.
Yeah, I described, Juno Temple's character. After a while, I was like, she's like the Microsoft paperclip. It's like, how can I help?
She's clippy.
Like her
She's
adorable
clippy.
elfin ears.
Yeah.
But she always looks great. She does. She's beautiful, and I love it. It was great. Even Miles Teller, who I normally am not that fond of, I thought he was fine. I thought he was great. But I love the Anthony, the writer of The Godfather. What's his name? Mario Puzo. The guy Mario Puzo and Coppola writing the script together and making spaghetti and goofing on each other and eating each other's sandwiches. I was like, can we just have a show about that? I'll watch it.
Yeah. And that show also I sort of was on the fence already because of Boiler Room, where I'm just like, do I not like Giovanni Ribisi or do I love Giovanni Ribisi? And then when I watched him in The Offer, I'm just like, I can't get enough Giovanni Ribisi. This is the greatest thing ever.
He's throwing everything in the kitchen sink into that part.
That's what I love about him. He's just so he's such a, I don't know how to describe it. I guess he's such a, it's like he doesn't care about looking cool at all. He just has he'll go as broad and silly as he needs to or wants to. It's really kind of fun to see.
And there's been people that, because there was Dominic, what's his face in the Batman movie who played the Penguin. There's been people who've changed their appearance to play a character, and it's like, well, you just get a person that looks like the character. Here, Giovanni Ribisi is they put the bald thing on his head and they make him look fat, and he's doing old gruff Italian thing, and it's so put on. But I kind of fucking love it. It's just he's just chewing the scenery, and I buy it.
Yeah, and all the stuff with Joe Gallo was so funny because you saw him in The Irishman. And, with that Sebastian Melcas, whatever his name is. And then you watch it this version and it's just man, this is so cartoony, but it's really great.
It was fun.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. I'm gonna start watching that show on Hulu that everybody's talking about with the Chicago restaurant.
The Bear.
The Bear is great. I think you would really like it because it's so Chicago.
Okay.
And the episodes are only 24 minutes each. There's a lot of yelling. You have to kind of get used to that because it's very intense restaurant environment. But I think by the end of it, I was like, I could watch 10 seasons of this. It's really, really good. Yeah, it's well written. It really feels like Chicago from my little experience of being in Chicago.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
Yeah, I just started that one. I've watched the first two, and it's so interesting that you mentioned it's 24 minutes because when it hits that 24 minutes and it's over, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It feels like it should be longer, which I don't have that feeling very often. Most of the time, I'm like, why is this so long? And this one feels
it's adrenaline.
Yeah, it's very good. The two I saw, and I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
it's a good one. This was super fun. We talked about Parenthood and The Offer and Pinball. Wow.
We got a lot in there.
Newman. And Randy Newman.
And Simply Red.
And Simply Red. Belle and Sebastian bashing. It was really fun.
It's got everything.
The men of the world stood up to Sonia on Radiohead.
Bring it. Come at me, bros.
It would be funny if you did a What a Creep on Radiohead Bros.
I could. I really could. Adam, tell people where they can find you on the internet.
I write and do podcasts occasionally at a website called F This Movie. That's the letter F thismovie.com. And then I'm on Twitter at Risky Adam.
And your YouTube show.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. No, You go to you can get it either through the website through F This Movie, or if you go to YouTube, the F This Movie YouTube channel, I do a weekly video show that's like about 15 minutes long with my friend Rob DiCristino on it's called Reserve Seating, and we just talk about sometimes a single movie and sometimes kind of broader topics. So yeah.
And they're great and they're hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, next week we're doing our annual Gripe House episode where we pick a couple of movie related pet peeves, and I had to do a long text stream with Rob where I'm just like, is this too mean? So
I can't wait.
I had like a list of 8 things, and like 6 of them he's like, yeah, somebody will know who you're talking about there, so you can't do that one.
Are you talking about experiences in a movie theater?
It's either like things that happen in movie theaters, or like I'll kind of tip it a little, or one that I have a real problem with right now is sort of like the fan filmmaker relationship buddy thing that happens on social media. I really don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when like a filmmaker's just like, man, without you guys, we couldn't have been the #1 original movie since the pandemic. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. That's like something you say in an office to each other. Like,
yeah.
It's like, we're not team you. Like, it's an exchange of goods and services. Calm the fuck down.
That's Tom Cruise in a nutshell.
Well,
I saved the movie theater.
You're welcome, everybody.
Welcome, planet Earth.
Yeah, whatever. Why are we doing this where the movie star has to say thank you for going to the movie theater? Like, bro, you don't have to do that. We should be thanking you for making the thing that we're watching. I don't know.
It's true.
But that's just me. I don't need to be friends with the people. Like, Wolfgang Peterson didn't give a fuck about me during In the Line of Fire, and that's how I want it to be.
Malkovich couldn't give a shit if you were there or not.
Malkovich!
Yeah.
Margo, where can people find you?
You can find me on social media at Brooklyn Fit Chick, and my site is brooklynfitchick.com, and I'm at Margo Donahue on the TikTok.
And if you like the sound of our voices, we also co-host a podcast called What a Creep, where we're not going to talk about Radiohead. We talk about creeps of the past and the present, and then we end every episode with someone who's not a creep, so you don't think the world's a whole dumpster fire. You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram and the TikTok. And if you like the show and you want to give us a great review on Apple Podcasts, that would be great. If you want to give us a bad review, you could just keep that to yourself. That's fine. Or you can email us at dorkinoutshow@gmail.com. We'll send you some stickers. We take requests. All the things. Follow us on all the things. Adam, thanks for talking about parenthood with us. This was really fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I always have a blast talking to both of you.
I'm glad Randy Newman could join us.
Yeah. We need to keep him in a box.